Midnights and the Tortured Poets Department are two sides of the same coin. Taylor Swift's last two new albums, in my opinion, detail the same time period and the slow death of her relationship with Joe Alwyn, as well as the immediate aftermath with Ratty Healy. Hey, I'm Caleb. I make movies and music, and I like to talk about them. Since I was born, I have been a Swiftie. I love pop culture. I think Taylor Swift is the music industry. And as somebody who is currently creating a track list for their own album, I thought it would be fun to try and combine the Torture Poets Department and Midnights into one singular cohesive album, a 15-track standard edition and a 22-track deluxe edition. When it released, Midnights was accused of being too confusing and kind of indirect and at arm's length, whereas Tortured Poets Department was the oversharing department. So my goal for today is to create a 15-track standard edition album and then a 22-track deluxe album. At the end of it, I'll listen to it and see if it's good or if it's a chop. And before we get into this, I am a Tay warrior. I've been here since Fearless. I was defending her during Snakegate. I was born into this family. Okay, so this is a family affair. And if you're not here for fun, then go away. And you know what? I love most of these songs. But as somebody who's making their own album and working on a track list, I think it's really good to learn how to edit and how to see a song that's good but realize it doesn't fit for the overall project. So I thought this would be fun. Obviously there is completely different production, but I think like in terms of storytelling, that's kind of what I'm going for. Hypothetically, she would try and make a more cohesive sound if she was actually making this into one album. Let's take a look at our tiers, shall we? So we have, first up, Tay Billionaire. Self-explanatory, this is one of the 15 tracks. This is standard edition. Then we have Sad Girl Autumn version, which, if you know, you know. This is the deluxe tracks that are very good. Don't make the standard edition, but I think add to the overall story almost as an addendum. Then we have From the Vault, songs that would be cut, and if she somehow lost the masters to this album, she would put them on the From the Vault. And then we have Dead in Miami, and those are songs I hate. So let's begin. I actually did not organize these in order because I could not be bothered. There's too many songs. I am a Midnights truther. I'm a God Nights truther. I love it. I think it's so fun. So this is gonna be hard for me, but I'm just gonna go off impulse. Antihero, Tay Billionaire. Lavender Haze, Sad Girl Autumn version. I feel like Lavender Haze, she's lying to herself. And the way I'm gonna try and structure this 15-track album is for first 5 tracks, Joe. Second 5 tracks, Matty Healy. Third 5 tracks, The Aftermath, Tay Billionaire. The Eras Tour, her dealing with that. And we have plenty of content. We have almost too much content. I'm gonna say Karma's a From the Vault. I'll put it on Sad Girl Autumn version. I think Karma, catchy. Great Eras Tour closer. I loved seeing it live. It's not very concise. Dead of Miami. High Infidelity, chop. It's a chop for me. Bigger Than the Whole Sky, Dead of Miami. Bigger Than the Whole Sky, I know people think it's about a miscarriage, but honestly, that's none of my business, and this song is boring. Midnight Rain, From the Vaults. Okay, Maroon. This is one of those that it could be about anyone, really. I'm gonna put it in Sad Girl Autumn version for now, because I really like it. Okay, Dear Reader is where the real tea is, and I honestly, it's either Sad Girl Autumn or it's Tay Billionaire. That's my belief. I think Dear Reader is a great final note, almost an addendum. I don't think it fit on the standard edition of Midnights, and I'm glad that she put it on the deluxe. And I don't think for what I'm gonna call this a tortured night. No, tortured at midnight. Tortured Midnights. That's what we'll call it for now, right? Okay, so Would've, Could've, Should've is like one of the best songs she's ever written. It doesn't, okay, here's the thing. It doesn't fit with the narrative I'm trying to go for though. So I'm thinking it's either going to be on deluxe. I'm going to put it, okay. Here's the thing. It could be in the addendum version. I'm going to put it in From the Vault for now. I love Would've, Could've, Should've. This is like tearing me up. Would've, Could've, Should've like is one of the best songs ever made. Why are there 2 Karmas? Okay, we're gonna put that down there. If there's any misspellings in this, you're gonna have to like you're gonna have to forget about it because like there is just simply too many songs. There's simply too many songs. Mastermind from the Vaults. Question is an interesting one. I'm gonna put that in Sad Girl Autumn version for now. Sweet Nothing, Chop. Okay, from the Vault. Vigilante shit. Okay, the thing about Vigilante shit is it was so good live, but it's one of those songs where it's like it's kind of like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me in my mind, where it's she's so theater that it's like, okay, like I love you. You are my cornball. Like I was raised on the cob. I'm familiar with your game. However, it gets to a point, and then like the Spotify canvas is her going, like it's just not. But it's a good message. Like, yeah, we hate Scott Borchetta, we hate Scooter Braun. Paris from the Vault absolutely does not make sense on the album I'm crafting. Great War, Tay Billionaire. Quite frankly, Tay Billionaire. Bejeweled. I'm gonna put it in Tay Billionaire. Now, because I think Bejeweled is a very good segue into the Maddie Healy section. I'm using their names not because I care about who she's with, and very happy for her engagement. Like that's beautiful, wonderful. I don't care who these songs are about. However, I think in terms of telling the story of I was born in this relationship, I had this fling that almost killed me, and now I'm the most beautiful, gorgeous princess on the planet. So I'm going to use their names for that reason. You're on Your Own, Kid, Tay Billionaire. Snow on the Beach from the Vault. I have no idea what that song is about to this day. You're Losing Me. Sad Girl Autumn version. I think You're Losing Me gives us tea, so much tea, but I don't think it's a very good song. But it's one of those things where it's like it's good enough, like it's juicy enough that it's like I can look past the like terrible production, in my opinion. I'm so happy she's back with those Swedes. You know what, Viva Sweden. Glitch from the Vault. Okay, Labyrinth, I'm putting on Sad Girl Autumn version because, okay, the Sad Girl Autumn version's already too big, I think. Well, I think Labyrinth is actually one of her better experimental songs. I don't think it sounds like anything else in her entire discography. And I think in terms of like the vibe she's creating in it and the actual soundscape that's created for that song is so good. And I'm kind of obsessed. Hits Different. I think Hits Different is Tay Billionaire. I think she's crazy to not have put it on the standard edition. I think it's one of her best songs. I love it. I love how it sounds. I wish that's what Tortured Poet sounded like for the most part. Okay, so now we get into Tortured Poets. And here's my tea about this. I love this album. It is way too long. Okay, but Daddy, I Love Him. I'm putting that on Tay Billionaire for a few reasons. It's not my favorite song personally, but I think it explains how she's feeling about things and really puts us in her shoes where she's like, yeah, I'm low-key losing my mind. And you know what? I stand the Bolter. Love that song. It's going in Sad Girl Autumn. I think it will probably be on the From the Vault, but I love it so much. It's one of my favorite off of Tortured Poets. So yeah, Cassandra Chop. I'm not explaining myself. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, Tay Billionaire. That's my truth. I feel like we have a pretty good list going. I see some songs that I'm going to be shifting around. Clara Bow, okay, Clara Bow is a very good closer. I think Clara Bow is her best closer to date, actually. It actually gagged me to hell and back the first time I heard it when she said, "You look like Taylor Swift." Like, so good. So good. Down Bad, Tay Billionaire. Florida. I like Florida. I think for me it's a From the Vault because truly it doesn't do much in terms of like expanding the story we're already telling. I understand that she's writing about like true crime, but for me, it's not really doing it in terms of like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do the hero's journey, if you will. So moving on to Fortnite, that's a Tay Billionaire song for me. That is one of my favorite songs on this. Fresh Out the Slammer, Tay Billionaire. I'm gonna get you back, Chop. You know what? People are gonna kill me for this, so I'm just gonna put it in From the Vault to absolve myself of my sins. I don't think it fits on this. I think it's a bad song. It's not, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't do it. Guilty as Sin, the most Tay Billionaire song on this list. This is the best song in this whole damn list for me. This is beautiful to me. I hate it here. I think that might actually be Sad Girl Autumn. I think it says a lot about how she dealt with it. How did it end? Tay Billionaire. I think that song is miserable, and I think it's one of her saddest songs. I've never seen her in such a state, and I think it only makes sense to put it on. Well, okay. I think it might be a Sad Girl Autumn version, but it says a lot. We'll revisit this at the end. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I don't like this song. It's not that it's bad. I just don't. It's such a Jack Antonoff song, and I love him. But I think once again, I am glad she is working with the Swedes. However, I think it is perfect for this album. I think it fits. I think it fits with the new album I am creating. And had I not heard 45 other songs produced by him in this era, I think I would have been streaming. I think it would have been clapping and cheering. I Look in People's Windows. I think it's a From the Vault for me. It's a fun little song. It's not fun at all. It's a good song. But I think for me, it doesn't necessarily expand on what I'm trying to do. I Can Fix Him, chop for me. I'm not a huge fan of that one. LOML, Say Billionaire. The manuscript is interesting. I think the manuscript can fit on a deluxe. How many tracks are we at? 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, fuck. Oh my God, this is gonna be hard. Okay. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, Sad Girl Autumn version, The Prophecy. Okay. The Prophecy says so much about like who she is as a person and what she's feeling right now. I don't see it making the cut. Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, hit of the century. The Alchemy. Oh, wait, why am I skipping all these? Robin, Dead in Miami. Peter, From the Vault. So Long London, hit. Tay Billionaire. That is So Long London is a Tay Billionaire. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. I think it just quite simply had to be on this list for what we're doing. So High School, I don't think that fits. I think that's a From the Vault. I like that song. I don't think that hits. I don't think that fits on the album we're trying to make here. Thank You, Amy, chop. The Alchemy, I think Tay Billionaire. The Tortured Poets Department. Okay. I'm putting in Tay Billionaire. We declared Charlie Booth should be a bigger artist. Like, okay, listen to me. Listen to me right now when I say this. This is a good song. It's a funny, satirical, witty song. I think it's funny. I think it's fun. I think it's well produced. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So I'm putting that in Tay Billionaire. I think that has to be on there. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I'm putting that on From the Vault. I enjoy it. It really, for me, doesn't fit. Albatross, also From the Vault. And Karma, once again, is going to be there. So let's start trying to actually make a track list with these. I think I actually might move some things around, but if I'm being so serious, I'm going to start it with The Great War. I think, here's my tea. I think let me actually reshuffle some things. Track 5, I feel like has to be So Long London. I know people will disagree with that, but my thing is, in this world, we didn't know about Jover. In this world, this is the first we're hearing about all of this. So the crescendo into So Long London, I think, is something I need in my life. I think Fortnite is honestly a very good album starter. And I think it kind of sets up the vibe of the album I'm trying to create. And I think Fortnite going into The Great War does something for me. I'm actually starting to see that this actually doesn't make much sense. So let me think about this in a serious capacity. So I think here's my tea. I think Fortnite. The thing is, I want Fortnite to be up here, but I think I'm gonna have to put this in Sad Girl Autumn version because truthfully, Fortnite is so good, but it really doesn't make all that much sense. And in terms of like making a clear and concise story, I don't think it's going to do what we need it to do. I think starting an album with the song The Great War um, is very good. And I think it already sets up that she's on rocky terms with the relationship she's in. And I think if it had like slightly different production or whatever, I think, it would fit sonically with everything. But I think like story wise, I'm going to start this with The Great War. I think that sets the stage pretty well, and it picks up with her kind of where we left her because The Great War talks about things that happened on Lover. I'm speaking of Afterglow, heard of her? Afterglow, sister song to The Great War in my mind, in my world. So I think going from I think The Great War is a good starter for me. And it sets the stage of where she's at. They're going back and forth, and she's even though it ends up with them staying together, she's in an unstable place. I think The Great War going into Antihero sets her up as she is blaming herself for this relationship falling apart. Now, here's where things get crazy. We're going into Guilty as Sin right after Antihero. Now, hear me out. No. Well, no. No, okay, yeah. We're gonna go from The Great War into Antihero into Guilty as Sin. I can't decide if I want Antihero or Guilty as Sin to go in first, but I think that wham bam of those two songs, it's like we are in this massive where I'm in a super volatile relationship. I don't know which way this is gonna go. I don't know how this is gonna end up. And going into I'm jerking off to this ex that I had. Um, and I'm the problem. I'm the problem for all of this. It's me. I'm the problem. Must be so hard rooting for the anti-hero. And she's kind of like blaming herself for all of this falling apart. Um, So Long London into Fresh Out the Slammer. Ooh. So Long London into Bejeweled. Wait a minute. We're going Bejeweled. We're going Guilty as Sin, Bejeweled into So Long London, into Fresh Out the Slammer, into oh my god, wait, I'm kind of cooking on this one now. Now I'm starting to see my own vision. How many songs do I have? 14, 15. So I have to cut 2 of these. TTPD, Alchemy are going down here for now. So The Great War, Antihero, Guilty as Sin, Bejeweled, So Long London, into Fresh Out the Slammer. Okay. I feel like that's a crazy ass track run. And I think also in terms of pacing, it's kind of nice. We don't have anything too high energy. We start off with Great War, which is pretty nice. Anti-Hero is pretty up. Guilty as Sin, hit of the year. Bejeweled, still pop, still kind of nice. So Long London, gunshots. Gunshots outside your house to lower the rent. Fresh Out the Slammer, I think, is a perfect follow-up to that song, honestly. I can't remember if that's how it is on the track list. I'm pretty sure it goes into But Daddy I Love Him, but I don't really remember. It might be But Daddy I Love Him before So Long London, actually. Anyways, doesn't really matter to me. You're on Your Own Kid. I think You're on Your Own Kid might be a good closer. I think it might be a great closer. It's either that or Clara Bow. I don't know. So Fresh Out the Slammer into But Daddy I Love Him. Into But Daddy I Love Him into Down Bad. Some would say. Some would say. And I think Down Bad into Smallest Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Heard of her? Okay, wait. I kind of think this might be I think this is kind of awesome, actually. Okay. Great War into Antihero, into Guilty as Sin, into Bejeweled, into So Long London. Joe Alwyn done. That period of her life over. Fresh Out the Slammer. We're going to the X. But Daddy, I love him. I'm in love with this ex. Everybody's like, no, don't be with him. But Daddy, I love him into Down Bad. He ghosts me. Some would say. Some would say, smallest man who ever lived. And I'm mad as hell about that. LOML. I'm starting to realize I am miserable. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. I'm starting to deal with this. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus? That is going on here, and TTPD is going after But Daddy, I Love Him. Or actually, no, yeah. TTPD, I think, is a good segue from But Daddy, I Love Him into Down Bad. Okay, I'm starting to see my vision for the standard track run. I feel like the Joe Alwyn section is good. I feel like enough said. We don't really need more on the standard edition. Fresh Out the Slammer to Smallest Man, I feel like that run as well pretty thoroughly explains it. I feel like LOML is now in my opinion, Lost of My LOML is her realizing that like this was a sham and I'm kind of stupid for falling for it. And I think that then goes into Hits Different, which a much needed vibe switch where she's, you know what, I'm gonna put Hits Different after Smallest Man. I think it makes no. We're gonna put LML. I think I might have to remove Hits Different from this. Fuck. Damn. Okay, we're gonna put Hits Different in Sad Girl Autumn version, and we're gonna put Midnight Rain after LO. No, that doesn't make sense at all. No, that doesn't make sense at all. Me when I'm smoking crack. We're putting Hits Different back on the track list, and it's gonna go after LML. And I know I said I wanted these 5 tracks to be about it, but I think Hits Different into I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It's like I'm miserable. I will get up and shake my ass. You're on your own, kid. And she's like, I don't need all of this. I don't need these. And then into a meditation of fame, which would then lead directly into TS12. Well, in this universe, TS11. But I think that's a pretty good standard track run. Now let's get into we have 7 more songs we can do now for the deluxe. Lavender Haze is going to From the Vault. Maroon from the Vault. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys from the Vaults. I think Fortnite is going to start the deluxe for me. I think it doesn't really matter who it's about, and I think like my version of the deluxe is here's a little bit more. Here's a cookie for being a fan. Have a little treat, have some dessert after the main course, right? But in this case, there's so many songs I want it to be a pretty big deluxe. So we're gonna. I think Dear Reader has to be the close. Well, no. Okay, let's go from Fortnite into Question. I think Fortnite into Question. I think Question is like Guilty as Sin, but without the T, personally. So I'm putting it on From the Vault. The Bolter. I feel like it doesn't make sense with the story we're telling. So I'm putting, because she didn't leave, he left her, right? In the timeline we're going with. We're going to go from Fortnite into, we're going to put Labyrinth here, because Labyrinth into Karma, I think that kind of tells a story. It's like I'm falling in love, and then Karma is my boyfriend, and like for the sake of this, it's Travis Kelce. I also think the alchemy for the last little bit. I know in my heart of hearts that it's not about Travis Kelce, but I'm gonna choose to believe it is because that's one of my favorite on Tortured Poets. Not because I like the lyrics. In fact, I think the lyrics are quite bad. However, I love the production on it. I think that's some of the best production Jack Antonoff has done, and I will give him his flowers. The Prophecy. I honestly think the Prophecy going into the alchemy is like some like math. That's some tinfoil hat. That's some family affairs. That's a secret hidden behind a secret bookcase for me. I'm taking Hate It Here off of this. I love it. I think we have to be more. The manuscript, goodbye. I actually don't. Why is that even on? I don't. I think I mixed up the prophecy and the manuscript. That should be an electric chair if I was doing that. Shout out Swiftologist once again. I love his videos. Fortnite Until You're Losing Me. Some would say. I think Wait, how many do we have? One. Oh, fuck. Okay. Chloe Sammer, Sophia Marcus, gone. I love you to death. I don't think you're making it on the deluxe edition. You're losing me. Once again, I think you have to go. And I'm so sorry to those who like it, but it's not me. It could never be me. So I think Fortnite into How Did It End into okay. I have to be fair and objective about this. Fortnite is not a very clear song, but I think Fortnite paired with How Does It End still doesn't make sense. I'm just like I'm doing okay. Okay. I think Would've, Could've, Should've is just such a good song. I really like can't even fathom like writing that song and not putting it on an album. So I understand why it's on there, you know. I think this is good. I think this makes sense to me. I think it's like an addendum. It's like a miniature version of the main album. And I think this is what I'm going with. The Great War into Antihero, into Guilty as Sin, into Bejeweled, into So Long London. That's chapter 1. Into chapter 2, we have Fresh Out the Slammer, But Daddy I Love Him, The Tortured Poets Department, Down Bad, and The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas, which you have to be careful with because gas stoves are dangerous. Into LOML, Hits Different, I Can Do It with a Broken Heart, You're on Your Own Kid, Clara Bow. Some are saying Tay Billionaire. Some are saying 20 billion copies sold. Some are saying most successful of all time. Some are saying more famous than Michael Jackson. Some are saying We Want a Deluxe. 2 weeks later, after we've had time to digest all of this, Sad Girl Autumn version, Fortnite, How Did It End, Dear Reader, The Prophecy, The Alchemy, Labyrinth, into Karma. I think the main goal that I would have if I was her with the deluxe of creating this combined torch with the tortured midnight deluxe, I think would look something like I was kind of falling apart during this period of my life, but I let go and it all came back to me. And it will too. Like life is good because I ultimately Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. And that was the original lyric. There was no other version of this song. So I think this is my list. So I'm going to put this into an album. I'm going to listen to the standard edition, and then I'm going to make the deluxe edition. I'm going to put both playlists on Spotify if you want to listen to them, have some fun, and I'll give you my review of this. I have a feeling I probably will be like, that was not very good. But we'll see. Okay, so I have finished my listen through of Tortured Midnights and Tortured Midnights Deluxe. And I think my initial reaction is that they were both a lot longer than I thought they would be. The standard edition was 15 tracks and it was an hour long. It was very back and forth. It would be really fun and then really sad and then really fun and then really sad and then really fun. And then it kind of ends on almost like a uncertain note, which I think is interesting and fun with the Clara Bow ending. I think the worst transition on all of it that I created was Bejeweled into So Long London. I think Bejeweled should not have been where it was. Another place that I thought the transition could have been better, I probably should have switched I Can Do It With a Broken Heart and Hits Different, but I think Hits Different is such a good pickup after LOML because LOML, like truly, that TTPD Down Bad Smallest Man LOML run is miserable. Same goes on the deluxe with Fortnite into How Did It End, into Dear Reader, into The Prophecy. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna fucking kill myself is what's gonna happen. But overall, I think it's a lot more cohesive than I thought it would be. And I think The Great War is a really good opener for me. I think the initial, like the bang that it starts off with is so good. And I think I immediately kind of get the vibe I was going for. But I will leave a link down below. I actually just put it all in one like playlist, and I just stopped, wrote down my thoughts, and then listened to the deluxe. I'll leave a link down below to the playlist. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Tell me if my list was terrible and you hated it, or if I'm Lisan Al Gaib. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. I just released a song, Brooklyn, and I have an album coming out in late October. I am not messing around with any early October dates because I will be locked in to Miss Swift. Leave a like down below and maybe even subscribe if you liked this video. And let me know if I should do more of these, because this was a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.